Welcome back. We're going to continue our conversation with James Myers from Patch.com. And James is going to tell us all about Patch, which I'm having a hard time getting my hands around. I'm understanding it's a little bit like a newspaper, except it's on the internet.
It is.
It's local, it's about Norristown, except it's big. So instead of me talking, why don't you tell us about Patch.com?
I am the editor of Norristown Patch, which is norristown.patch.com. It's part of the larger Patch network. We have over 800 sites across the country now.
Wow.
They're hyper-local news sites devoted to the area that each patch is located in. Mine is in Norristown, so I am specifically concerned with the goings-on of Norristown.
Okay.
And reporting them to everyone.
So if I go on, I did go on, I found Patch.com, Norristown, and I read a story about a fire.
Unfortunately, there have been a lot of those lately.
Okay, but so it was a news story.
Right.
I read kind of more of a kind of personal interest, about somebody.
Yeah.
I saw a button for volunteers.
We're very big on volunteers.
So yeah, tell me more about what I might expect to see on any day.
It's a pretty diverse news segment. I mean, there are a lot of stories in Norristown. There's always hard news. There's always people doing great things. There are organizations that I feel don't get enough attention from other outlets. There are plenty of stories in Norristown that people should hear about. And so I try and cover as much as I possibly can. I've only been live for about 6 weeks now.
Oh, wow.
So it's still a fledgling operation, and I'm still kind of in launch mode. But I kind of hope to build the network of people who are contributing to the site and letting me know what's happening and contributing their own stories to the site. You mentioned the volunteerism part. That is actually a huge thing for us. I personally am very interested in nonprofit and community service. I have been for a long time, and I think it's one of the reasons that they liked me for this particular position. You mentioned in the earlier segment about volunteerism being the rent you pay to your community, and I believe that, and this company believes that, and I like that I can kind of focus on that through my site. The AOL head honcho, Tim Armstrong, who started the Patch Network, started it because he had a day off one day and was out with his kids and was looking for a place to go with them to do like a little volunteer day. And he went online and couldn't seem to find what he was looking for. He couldn't find a spot that said what was happening in his little suburban town that gave all of the organizations that he could find. He just couldn't find it, and he thought, this is a segment that needs attention. This is a segment that needs someone paying attention to it and delivering to that. So that's how Patch was born.
Very interesting, and that makes a lot of sense to me because you need to know the name of an organization to look it up.
Right.
And then you need to, it needs to be totally current.
Yeah, exactly, and that's my job at Norristown Patch. Is I have a pretty comprehensive directory. It's not comprehensive enough, unfortunately, for my taste. I constantly am meeting people with organizations that didn't end up in my directory, and I need to add them in. But that's a big part of Patch, is finding what you're looking for,
right?
Whatever it is that you're looking for.
Neat. So we might find out about a volunteer opportunity.
Oh yeah.
We might find out about a new cheesesteak restaurant.
All of those things.
We might.
Yeah.
Okay. So all kinds of things. Whatever's going on.
I particularly like finding out about both of those things.
All right. So that's interesting. So AOL is involved in Patch, and you said there are 800 sites throughout the year?
At the last count, it was a little over 800 sites. I don't know what we're up to now. We keep launching new ones every day.
And so your job with Patch is to kind of retrieve all these stories.
Yeah, I'm their man in Norristown. I'm the one whose job it is to tell everyone what's happening in Norristown.
Okay. Do you talk with other media outlets?
I do. I work with the Herald guys all the time. We end up at the same events. I don't want to. The Herald does a great job of covering a lot of different things, but as I said before, there are a lot of stories in Norristown, and they can't be everywhere, and I can't be everywhere. Occasionally, we end up at the same thing, and I try and get different perspectives. They're very good at getting to fires when they happen right away. I seem to end up there a little later, and I get to talk to the people who are affected by that fire, and hear the stories of what happened and what they're doing now. And I like that. Like I said, there are that many stories that need to be told, and they're still not all getting told. So. my work is never going to be done.
So somebody hears of something interesting to them, they can contact you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. James.myers@patch.com.
Okay.
Or just go to the website and send me a message through the site, norristown.patch.com.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So if I am at my computer, because we
Yes.
talked about this,
Or your smartphone, wherever
Okay,
you
well,
are.
All right, well, let's just, with the computer,
Okay.
at a desk,
Yes.
and I'm going to type www.norristown.
.patch.com. You don't even need the
.patch.com.
www part.
Okay, okay, very nice, very nice. Well, I got there before, I'm going to be able to get there again.
Come back. You'll see more things that interest you, I promise.
Good. I know that you said you recently did a feature on the habitat restore.
Yes, because it's right in our neck of the woods. I'm trying to remember West or East Norton now. I can't remember the
East.
address. It is East Norton. Okay. Yeah, and that's a great place, and that's a great thing, a resource for people in our area that they should know about. And that's the sort of thing I try and do, is make sure people know what resources are available to them in our area.
Good. So, I'm very interested in education and making sure that people understand how important our public education system is. And I think you've done some stories.
I have. We covered the preliminary budget that just got approved. I'm still trying to work with some of the school kids about getting them involved in covering news from their perspective, because I think that's really interesting,
Right.
hearing what the students have to say about what's going on in
Absolutely.
their schools. And then Nan Odenthal, the new PR grant writer here, has been a great resource for letting me know what the school district is up to, and just great things that are happening. You had Harriet from RSVP here. They have a program with some of their seniors where they're pen pals with third and fourth graders
Nice.
at Stewart Middle School
Very
that we
nice.
just put a little story up about. And that's great. That wonderful things like that, people should know that's happening.
Right. We have some students writing a newsletter about nutrition. So this would be interesting maybe to pull some of their articles into an electronic format.
Somebody actually recommended one of the students who write for that newsletter as one of our Whiz Kids, which is a new feature we're trying to do, where we find talented, exceptional kids in our area so we can highlight them. And so that's one of the folks
Good.
that I have to
Good,
down
good.
and
We're having
interview.
science fairs.
Yeah, I did actually cover the science fair. The school district has a little column that Nan provides for me every week.
Nice.
Their paths to excellence, and she lets me know the different programs that the schools are having. The science fair was a recent column.
Very nice, very nice. Well, I'm so glad that you're doing this kind of work, and
Thanks, I am too.
it makes a lot of sense, and it feels very personal. Again, when I was looking and I was reading the different stories, and there were a variety of stories. It made me feel like, hey, this is kind of nice. I can certainly read in the newspaper, and I like that feel of opening a newspaper, but this is
like my
another
paper, too.
avenue to get up close and personal with Norristown.
Yeah, and it's a new age. I mean, there are new tools that we're using. Not everybody is as into paper as some of us old folks are. And I'm
thank
fine
you.
with that. I want to get younger, newer, more tech-savvy
Right.
people involved in what's happening around them, and this is the best way to do it.
And as you said, the smartphone, even easier than the opening up your computer, laptop, and
Oh, yeah,
so on.
definitely.
Smartphone availability. Well, our time together is finished, but I'm so glad that you could join me and tell us about this, and hopefully everybody will visit patch.com.
Thank you for having me. Please do visit.
ICN and its members are committed to a strong, interlocked, efficient, and effective network of human service systems, improved opportunities for residents in our community to achieve well-being, and to strengthen the organizational capacity of member agencies. To learn more about ICN, visit us on the web at icnconnections.org.